the Honorable John Ajaka MP, NSW Minister for Multiculturalism, who is officially representing the Honorable Mike Baird, Premier of NSW, the Honorable Crow Gowan, MP, Mr. Sudhir, CGI of India in Sydney, the AIBC National Chairman Dibet Ragani, AIBC National Vice Chairwoman Chiba Nankyola, CBA, our national partner, Jeff Lee, MP, Damien Tudhop, MP, Mr. Nihal Gupta, and Mr. Glenn McGrath, the one person in this room who doesn't need an epithet. All Indians and Australians know Glenn, easy. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's my absolute pleasure to welcome all of you this evening on behalf of Australia-India Business Council, NSW. This is our signature annual event, the AIBC NSW Australia-India Address for 2015. We have received apologies from the Honourable Andrew Robb, MP, Federal Minister for Trade and Investment, who could not make it this evening as he had to travel overseas. We are delighted Honourable Christopher Pine is with us today. Thank you, sir. The Australia-India Business Council of NSW, in our view, and obviously in my view, is the most critical state chapter for AIBC. I will obviously say that. It plays a pivotal role in facilitating bilateral trade between NSW and India. We work very closely with the NSW government through the Premier's office, the NSW government trade and investment offices, and their India-based representatives. We also work very closely with the Indian government, High Commission of India, and the Indian CGI office and the trade offices here in Sydney. This has been an extremely busy year for us, extremely busy. And we have hosted a number of very successful events and delegations throughout the year. We were very well represented in the delegation undertaken by Honourable Minister Andrew Robb when he led the largest ever delegation to India earlier this year. The then AIBC NSW President, I recollect telling me when he got back from India, saying how positive he was with all the discussions they had while in India. He was extremely happy about it. Our annual budgets we do for all our members and guests are usually very well appreciated. We have 6 industry chapters today active, and all of them have had several large events through the year. In fact, this month we had 2 large events, sold-out events by 2 of our chapters, Women in Business and ICT. We had more than 80 people each in each of them attending. Just last week, we actually welcomed the largest ever delegation by the Indo-Australian Chamber of Commerce. And for me, it was very delighted. I was happy to see the kind of people-to-people, member-to-member discussions that happened that evening. And make no mistake about it, we have a lot of more events throughout this year. Going back in history, the 2 great nations, India and Australia, we have had some great sporting ties. Back in the early 50s, when a lot of Indians first landed in Fremantle near Perth, they came en masse and they brought the hockey playing skills with them. They actually changed the way Aussies played hockey. I'm not saying this, I'm just quoting Rick Charlesworth, probably the finest ever hockey player in Australia. In '56, when India played Australia at the Melbourne Olympics, there were 4 Aussie players who were, until very recently, Indian citizens. My father, who's probably seen every single match at the Eden Gardens in Calcutta for 40 years, always talks very highly about the Aussie cricket team. He always used to say the Aussies used to bring their best into India, even in the 40s and the 50s, when other nations like England, for example, we love the Pops only, would always bring the second string team to India. There's deep affection and admiration for Australia in the Indian psyche. Trade and commerce predates all of this by a century and more. From then on to now, it's been a great journey, expressed through a shared love for cricket and hockey, trade and commerce, democracy, English, Commonwealth, and some incest curry. Yet, think of all of this. The trade between India and Australia is still languishing at $15 billion per annum. What is holding it back? Why isn't it growing? And when I think back about it, and I go back to my days in uni, a long, long time back, I had black hair in those days. Actually, had hair in those days, actually. And back at Chicago Booth School of Business, on day one, I was told, you're now at an Ivy League. Your default setting can't be mediocrity. So why are two Ivy League nations? Why are we letting our default settings be rather average, rather mediocre? I don't think it's right? Think of it this way, Australia has been a nation of innovators, always been. Think Wi-Fi. It's an Australian invention. Think CSL. Think the black box flight recorder. Think the Ute. And most importantly, think about the double button system in the toilets. How many billions of liters of water we have saved. India is a massive market, a leader in frugal innovation. It's home to 1 billion plus people in the world's fastest growing middle class. It enjoys great demographic wealth. We all know that, don't we? What some of us don't know is Indians account for some of the most senior positions in Fortune 100 firms. And are responsible for close to 1/5 of all tech startups in the Silicon Valley. There are entrepreneurs and innovators everywhere in India, and not just in the big cities. Many of us speak English. At least half of us do, some badly with a bad accent like me. Which is probably what the rest of the world put together does anyway. So, and wonder of wonders, even a few Indians even play cricket. And as Mr. McGrath would admit, a few of us even play well, once in a while, at least. So why are the trade numbers seemingly a tiring exercise in the unfulfilled? And if at all, the numbers actually come down in the last 5 years, which is rather unfortunate, rather. In my career as a consultant, I've worked with many startups, I've worked with many large firms across US, across Europe, Latin America, you name it. And I met many a client who didn't believe in the flat world theory. And they probably didn't believe it because they were scared of change and transformation, what it entails. Any change, any transformation is disruptive. They were scared, that the ideas will not get board approval. Sometimes they're scared, they do not have the resources to fulfill their ambitious goals. They were scared sometimes. Time is not in their hands. They were scared it may cost too much, or as a former Wall Street man will tell you, ROIs aren't good enough. They were scared, and often they scaled down their ambitions. I think the time for us has come to change all that. I think the time has come for us to take that great leap of faith, the leap from being average and mediocre to being excellent, from an ambitious existence to remarkable success. I think a lot has happened in the last 1 year, especially after the 2 visits by the 2 prime ministers the last year. And indeed, the AIBC was an integral part of those 2 visits and those initiatives. I believe that has laid a very strong platform for disruptive, innovative growth. And I think Zika and FTA are key inflection points, and I look forward to hearing more about it today. Bottom line is, I think it's time for us to take advantage of all that and more. And if you take a step back and think about it, where is this exponential growth we keep talking about going to come from? You talk to any futurist, any academic, and they all talk about it's going to come from the knowledge-based economy, from services innovation, from SMAC. Sorry, SMAC is Social, Mobile, Analytics and Cloud. SMAC is something which a few of us had in college, right? So, and IoT. It's going to come from disruptive technologies. That's where most people think tomorrow's massive growth is going to come from. And where is the largest strength of engineering talent globally, software engineering talent globally, outside Silicon Valley? It's in the triangle formed by Chennai, Bangalore, and Hyderabad. And how do we in Australia connect to India by cable? We have one. We have one cable which goes through the Straits of Malacca. And that's about trying to cross the Harbour Bridge at peak office hours. Ask me, I do it once a week. And to put that in perspective, we have 5 to the US. I think the way forward, in my considered opinion, is to consider the Indian Ocean as a key enterprise area, not just the Pacific. It connects the fastest growing economies in the world today to Australia. Think Africa. Nigeria grows at about 10% per annum, give or take. Think Indonesia. And by the way, Sumatra and Java are in the Indian Ocean, not in the Pacific. South Asia, and it's called the Indian Ocean for a very good reason. Perhaps the governments from Australia and India will consider an Indian Ocean Dialogue Forum, and not just an APAC forum, perhaps. I think at the end of the day, we just need to be very, very bold about it. We need to transform, and we need to exponentially grow cross-border trade. And we at AIBC and SW are committed to ensure and assist and help and enable our members to take advantage of such disruptive opportunities that are all available to us. At the end of the day, we at AIBC, we are a member-based organization. We are for the members, of the members, and by the members. No guesses from where I got that at least. So that's an easy one to guess. We welcome new members and we encourage all members to actually contribute to AIBC. Excuse me. It should be remiss if I miss thanking our AIBC New South Wales corporate sponsors who have always stood by us, especially CBA, thank you Annette. Our numerous table sponsors and India Tourism, our event sponsor. I would like to thank my AIBC and SW committee for their support. A few of them are here, thank you all, really appreciate it. The national leadership team in Dipin and Shiva and Con, all three of you have been magnificent, thanks for all the assistance. Our executive officer, Sam Dutt, she's one of the most passionate AIBC members you can ever imagine. Thank you, Sam. And Samir Arora, my friend, my vice president, and it's WISE, vice president, for a change, not VICE. And thanks, Mr. Forward, Tony Forward, thank you, with whom I spent many a Friday morning discussing AIBC, cross-border trade, derivatives, forex, name it, you name it, and my speech too. We have almost solved world hunger last Friday, didn't we? I hope all of you have an enjoyable and informative evening, and I look forward to catching up with you at one of our events in the future. Thank you.